How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Haunted Cafe. It is almost October, like literally 2 days away, and so it's time for us to get into really spooky stuff. Now, I know like this channel is pretty much already like crazy spooky stuff, but I feel like I need to up my game a little bit. So today we're going to be talking about the 11 miles ritual. Before we begin, we have to talk about our tea, of course. And today I have something a little bit fall themed, at least in my opinion. So today I'm going to be drinking I almost said vanilla, or I almost said, I don't know what I was trying to say, but I'm tasting vanilla caramel black tea. And it's by Bigelow, I think. I think that's how you say it. The ingredients is black tea and natural / artificial flavors. But yeah, vanilla caramel. Um, when I first opened ooh, I meant to do that. When I first opened the little like package, I could smell the vanilla just like straight up. I'm sure that there's like the vanilla extract or something like that in there. Um, I can still smell it now, and I feel like I smell more so the vanilla than like caramel or anything like that. Although I'm not really sure what caramel smells like. Like I guess I'd have to smell it first if that makes sense. Like it's just not I guess it's just not a memory that's like stored, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's try it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I I feel like I do taste the caramel, but that also could just be like the familiar flavor of vanilla. If I'm, like if I don't know how vanilla. It's weird because it's like these are flavors that you should know like by heart. But like when you're tasting something like a tea, or like for example those Mountain Dew like mystery flavors, you think you know what the flavor is, but then when they announce it or whatever, it's wrong. So like this new one, the new Voodoo flavor is actually what was it? Cherry something, but it doesn't taste like cherry. But anyway, yeah, I guess this is vanilla and caramel. I like it. It's really good tea. It definitely has like a fall flavor, but yeah. All right. So let's get into the whole reason why we're here. The 11 miles ritual. So I think the first time that I heard about this ritual was actually when I was watching Sam Goldbash, I think that's how you say his last name's channel, from Sam and Colby. He did the 11 miles ritual a few times, and I mean, he had experiences. I wasn't there, so I can't be like, oh, they were true or they were false or anything like that. But according to the rules and stuff that I'm going to go over today, he did not do the challenge right. But I'm pretty sure no one's going to do this challenge right and like record it, if that makes sense. We'll get into what I mean by that. But so it's not really well known where this ritual actually came from, like, in general. But the website that I, of course, got it from was creepypasta. I'm not sure if it came like before, like, if it was written out before creepypasta or it was, purposely written for that website, you know. Um, the rules are on there and they're all written out by a man named Richard Southern. And he wrote it on October 6th, 2013. I almost had a stroke trying to read that. Which is kind of cool because October 6th is like really kind of close and 2013 was 10 years ago. So cool. You know. um I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if he's the original author. I'm pretty sure he is, but he is the one to at least give like the most details about this ritual. And I am going to leave a link to the creepypasta in my description. So if you want to go read it for yourself, definitely check it out because it is intense, if I do say so myself. Um, so now, first things first, the reason to do the ritual, because that's kind of like the whole point of rituals is like, what's the end result? Like if you think about it, the phone numbers that we talked about last week, you know, obviously you're calling those for a reason. So when you're doing rituals, you're doing them for a reason. Um, According to Richard, the whole point of this 11-mile drive is to get granted a wish. I feel like wishes come up a lot in like these rituals for some reason. Now, it's not just any old wish, it's not something that you should make up on the fly, but it's something that you should deep down want or need. Um, Maybe something like a more stable career with better money, or maybe better mental health. I'm sure a lot of us could use that. Um, you could you could do something like ask for a girlfriend or a boyfriend to come your way, but that's also like tempting fate a little bit. But I mean, it's up to you. If that's what you want, you could wish for it. I don't think you can necessarily like wish a certain person to come your way, but you could like wish for a relationship. Um, but yeah. So, like I said, Sam Golbash, for example, from Sam and Colby, he actually wished to hit a certain amount of followers on his Instagram, and he did it. As far as I know, I think it happened pretty much at like the end of the year that he did that ritual, but he did end up getting those followers. So, and he also kind of described it like he got them in like droves. Like it was almost like overnight he started to get a whole bunch of followers. So it could just be that this ritual worked. I mean, it's kind of like it's not the only way to describe like um to get so many followers at once, but it's a cool explanation. Um, but yeah, so once you have your desire, like what you want, the next thing you're going to need is a car, or just some type of vehicle. The post says that you could just use like a motorcycle or a four-wheeler or something, but in my opinion, a car seems like the best way to go. You'll see why. You definitely want some kind of like shelter between you and the open road. Um, Once we get into things that might happen during the journey, you will want to stay in the car, where you can kind of like lock your doors and drive away. Like, I don't necessarily think that locking your car doors would do anything, but I guess it's just kind of like the security, the feeling of security. So, the next thing that you need to do is to find a long strip of road that's basically completely surrounded by woods. According to the post, you'll know when you are on this road. So I guess that kind of just means like drive around and get a feel for your environment. Um, Once you feel like you found your starting point, stop and then get ready to start. It's a little confusing because you're like, let me stop to get started. But, you know, of course, it has to be nighttime, preferably when other cars will not be out on the road because you want this road to be empty. So you could probably go between midnight or 3 a.m. You have to be by yourself, which sucks. You can't go out in like a friends group or even with one other person. You have to be entirely by yourself. I'm wondering if that's because like since you're the one that's getting the wish, there's no reason to have someone else in the car with you. But um a really cool thing that Richard said in the post was you need to search for the road's hint in order to pull down the right one. Once you're close, you will see or feel its signs, but what the signs will be will depend on what it is you desire. For example, if you're in search of wealth, you may spot shimmers on the empty branches of trees as they resemble the shine of gold or diamonds. If you seek love, you may begin to see rose petals slowly dance in the light breeze, blowing in the road's direction. If you seek revenge, you might sense an ever-growing feeling of heat or anger in your body as you approach. I just thought that was really cool because, it's something that's not really common in like the YouTube videos that I watch on this. Like no one really finds like the diamonds or rose petals or something like that. So, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to down talk YouTubers because I am one, obviously, but like I feel like the only way that this would maybe honestly work is if you did it without something recording you. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it would be more intense and maybe more probable of happening if you weren't recording. I don't know, maybe not, but like the way that this post describes the 11 miles ritual, um a lot of people don't have a whole lot of these like things happening in their videos. So, I don't know if they're doing it correctly. Um, so once you find your road, you will want to follow these rules in order to make sure that you are doing the ritual correctly and so that you don't make your situation worse than it will be. It will get worse. um, so the first rule is don't go over 30 miles per hour. It said unless you absolutely need to get through a mile of the road, you can go over it. But they want you to kind of go slow. Like they want whoever this is that's in charge of this ritual wants you to go slowly so you can experience a really scary ride. You know. Number two is do not open your windows during the drive. You won't want to anyway. Do not attempt to leave your vehicle at any point in time until the end of the 11 miles ritual. Do not turn on the radio during the drive. Don't use your phone, which that's for any type of drive. Don't drive and text. Even if you're doing this ritual, just don't do it. It's stupid. And then also buckle up, which is also for every type of drive. So, it is said that you can and should turn on your heater because it will start to get extremely cold in your car, even in like the dead of August or dead of summertime for us US people. Don't turn around, and if you do turn around, you will be stuck in an infinite loop until you run out of gas and eventually freeze to death. So pretty much what that means is like don't turn your car around. You can look sometimes you can look backwards, but don't actually like turn your car around. So now that you know your list of rules to follow or to not follow if you want to, you can begin. So the first mile. The first mile should be pretty simple and not too scary. Nothing will really happen except that you might start to get cold. The post says just to relax because things are going to get worse from here. If you look up at the sky, you'll notice a lot more bright and notable stars in the sky, even if it had been cloudy before. Second mile. So for the second mile, you will really start to feel like a chill. Like the temperature will drop down 20 degrees. Like, if it's 60, it'll drop down to like 40. It's important to keep your heater on as high as possible because as you continue to drive, like I said before, it's just going to start getting colder and colder. It doesn't even matter if it's in the summer months, like I said, it's just going to be so cold that you'll start to freeze. It's also said that as you drive, the road conditions are going to start getting worse. The road will become more twisted, more dangerous, with potholes and huge bumps, like unbelievably damaged. The post says to just take your time and to try and keep your car in the best possible shape. Because if not, and your car fully breaks it down, once again, you'll freeze to death. So, you definitely want to keep an eye on your car. You should anyway. Like, you shouldn't just normal driving. You shouldn't just like go 60 into potholes because that'll mess up your car. But it's common sense, I think. Third mile. At this point, things are starting to get pretty serious. During the third mile, you will start to see human shapes within the branches of the trees. Don't look at them. No matter what, do not look at them. Even if they seem to be approaching the car. Just don't do it. Just keep driving and mind your business. You know, just keep going. Also, on the third mile, the road will randomly turn to a dirt road, making it even harder to drive and more dangerous. It'll also start to kind of like shrink and expand in size, so just keep driving in the center. You shouldn't have to really worry about other cars, so like, it'll like zigzag, if that makes sense. Like, but just do your best, stay in the center of the road, and yeah. Um, so to me, this is honestly giving me like back roads, road, or yeah, back roads, back rooms, road vibes, right? Like, there's nothing going on. You can't see anything. Like, I feel like this is definitely a room in the back rooms. Or I guess a not room in the back rooms. So, mile 4. So, you thought that mile 3 was pretty intense, right? Maybe not. Well, 4 seems to get worse. For one thing, more human figures are going to start to appear, and this time they're going to start trying to talk to you. So if you're an introvert, you gotta ignore them. I mean, you should ignore them anyway, but introverts might honestly have like a better chance of doing this because we avoid everybody. So it's kind of easy. But so you won't just start hearing them whispering from like outside of the car. Oh no, they're going to be in your mind. So it's like, they're just jumping in here to say hi, and they're going to start ugh, they're just going to start like whispering to you. And they'll say all kinds of things. But you don't want to try and like understand what they're saying. You just want to keep driving. Just ignore them, keep driving. According to the creepypasta posts, it says that if you try to figure out what they're saying, you're actually drawing them to you, and you don't want to do that. So, like I said, introverted. Stay in your own lane. you know. Mile 5. At this point, this is where all the YouTuber videos seem to stray away from the actual challenge. If you watch any of these people that play it, you'll see that in this step, in the 11 miles ritual, doesn't actually happen. During mile 5, the trees will actually start to fade away on your left side, and you will see a beautiful, clear lake that will appear. The lake seems to have no other side, no sense of ending, and there is a giant moon in the sky above. Once again, unfortunately, because this is probably a really pretty scene, don't look at it. Just keep focusing on the road. And like I even put in like my notes that it kind of sucks that this ritual is giving you like this kind of cool stuff to look at, because it's saying like, here's the stuff, but don't look at it. I feel like it's like testing, it's testing your patience. It's challenging you to see if you will do what it asks for the things that you desire. You know what I mean? It's kind of like there's a bunch of these weird and intense obstacles, but they're obstacles that you have to endure to get your wish. So, I mean, for an example, Think of something in your room right now and just try not to look at it. Like your phone, for example. Try to just like set that next to you and not look at it for like an hour or so. Some people would be able to do it, others not so much. Um, and I feel like most of the time and most of us would have like an urge to grab your phone or grab the object like that you're told not to. Like it's kind of like you tell a toddler to say no, no, don't do that, and then they're going to turn around and do it because you said no. So, but the whole point of this ritual obviously is to ignore all of those urges and to just keep moving forward. Just keep driving, just keep driving. So, mile 6, yay, you're kind of halfway done with this mission. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, because there's 11 miles, you're on 6, so. So, you can celebrate a little bit, but you probably shouldn't be. So, things in this ritual are about to get a whole lot worse. And I feel like I say that at the beginning of every mile because it's true, but so during mile 6, the lake will disappear, which is sad, and the trees will come back. The sky is now completely empty, and it just looks like a big empty hole, like a black empty hole, above you. I don't know why I'm looking up at my ceiling, but, the only lights to show you your way are your car's headlights, and unfortunately, they're going to start to flicker, which is like, I'm scared. The radio in your car that was turned off, of course, will now click on and it will begin to make like the worst screeching noises ever. And a calm voice will begin to talk to you. Unfortunately, I said that already. It won't be telling you how good of a job you're doing. It'll actually be telling you your greatest fears and failures, which is like, God, Dad, why are you here? But no, the voice will be so intense that you will feel every emotion, every fear that it's describing, but you just have to ignore it once again and just keep driving. You can't turn off the radio, but I wonder if you could just like, this is me talking. I'm wondering if you could just buy like noise canceling headphones, just put those on. I mean, that's not going to save you from the voices that are in your head. Like, I think at like mile 2 or 3, but it would help this one maybe. I'm not sure if that would be like breaking any rules or not, but you can't turn it off, so. So mile 7. So the voices are back, and they're not just in your radio. This time they're actually yelling out from like the distance, like outside of the car, but they're growing closer every single second. Soon they will start to whisper in your ear as if they are in the car behind you, like sitting in your back seat. Don't turn around. This is the time where you don't turn around. If you do, you will once again fail the journey. One of the figures are actually in your car and they're sitting in your back seat getting a free ride, which is rude. But hopefully, if you ignore them, they'll get kind of like bored and leave. These figures are said to be the ones who failed before you, and they're kind of like doomed to roam this like in between area. They can't hurt you unless you look at them and then you crash. They kind of like make you crash. As long as you ignore them, you're okay. Which is crazy because you would think that, like, I mean, no, maybe not. But I was gonna say, you would think that they'd want you to, like, survive, like, do something that they didn't do. But no, they want to trap you there and just be, be one of them, pretty much. So, mile 8. Literally, the first thing that it says on that post for mile 8 is to slow down. It says if you're going 30 miles per hour, it says slow down. The road during this mile is so unpredictable that you just have to be like super, super careful. If you aren't paying attention, you could literally swerve off of the road and into the trees. Like, it goes that intense. Like, at this point, it's not even just like the road conditions are bad where it's like bumpy. It's like snaking and swerving. So that's scary. um, Also, the temperature is so cold that you can see your breath. If you have water in your car, like a water bottle, it'll freeze. And the thing that also comes with the swerving, like roads, like the twisty turny roads, is that your headlights are going to start to flicker like on and off and even go out for a few seconds at a time. It says don't panic, just slow down, but keep moving until they turn on again. Whatever you do, don't stop the car. Just keep going. Pay attention. I feel like this is like what is it, like a student driver like test, like, all right, if you can pass this then we'll give you your license. um the figures that I was telling you about, they're now chasing you and your car, obviously. But as long as you keep driving, it doesn't even matter if you're driving slow. As long as you're still moving forward, you should be okay. Just keep going. I feel like we need to have Dory in here saying, like, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Yeah. So for mile 9, to me, compared to everything that's been happening, mile 9 is absolutely the worst. Your car is going to stall out. Yep, you heard me. It's going to stall, and that's scary. You will be plunged into complete darkness. Nothing will work. No headlights, no interior lights, nothing. You can't start your car again. What you're supposed to do is to close your eyes, keep your eyes completely shut, and try to start your car as soon as possible. If there are any figures near your car, like any of these dark figures, they will be. Well, let me rephrase that. So if there were any black figures that were chasing you, they will surround your car, and the noise of like your engine starting back up again is supposed to like kind of scare them away. Um as soon as you get your car started again, start driving again away from them. Um Basically, at this point, they're going to start destroying your car so that they can get inside to you. But once again, just keep going, just keep ignoring them and driving forward. Um, they're going to be screaming for you. Just keep going. I sound like yeah, I even said I sound like Dory. It just keeps swimming. But yeah, basically the whole point of this ritual is just keep going, ignore people. Like, I could do that. When the mile is over, they will actually retreat or stop as if there's like a physical barrier between the 2 miles. And that's honestly probably really creepy to see, because I at this point I think you could look back in your rearview mirror, so all you see is like these probably dozens and dozens of figures just lining up behind your car as you keep driving forward. That's scary. And plus, like, now your car is supposedly, kind of destroyed. Like, I'm sure they were scratching, trying to break windows and stuff like that. Like, that's horrible. So mile 10, we're almost done. At this point, if I were driving, I'm not sure, like, how I would feel. I would definitely feel excited because, like, it's almost done. I'm probably thinking, like, I can do this. I can make it. But honestly, like I've said, like, every single time, the miles get, like, more and more intense. So, not entirely sure how true that would be. So, the voices will stop, the figures will stop, and after you get into the 10th mile, don't look in your rearview mirror. Like, you probably take like a quick peek, but then like don't anymore. Just keep driving. The road will get smoother here, and it may even go back to like pavement, which is like that's nice. Now, instead of the trees lining the road, more figures are just lining the road. So it's probably like how I picture this is like an open field with like a paved road, but on each side are just like thousands of dark figures, which fucking terrifying. And they're just lining the road, watching you. Quote, some have theorized that the beings are impressed here, that you have come a long way on the journey to what you desire. This is false. They are not impressed, but they are happy. They are happy you are about to approach the next mile. They are happy because you are most likely going to your death. Yeah. Yeah. You're driving to your death. Mile 11, the final mile. Your car will lose complete power again, just like before, only this time something is actually pulling you forward. A red light will begin to appear in the distance, getting bigger and bigger as you get closer. Close your eyes. Do not open them, no matter what. You do not want to see what you are going through. Cover them with your hands or just keep them closed, but whatever you do, do not look around. According to the Reddit post, it sounds like you're basically going through hell as the intense cold that you were feeling switches to intense heat. You're going to feel like your body is on fire and that your skin and flesh is just burning off. You're going to be driving past screams of agony and terror. This will last for exactly 31 seconds as long as you keep your eyes shut. After the final mile, the road will appear again, and you are allowed to stop the car and take a quick break. Breathe, relax for a little bit. Once you are ready, you can start to drive again. And you basically just drove through the bowels of hell. At this point in time, you will hit a dead end. Stop here and don't try to go anywhere else. Close your eyes and picture what you desire. Sometimes your desire could change to something completely different. You're basically thinking about what struggles you faced to get such a desire, and you could picture it in your hands or in your life. Like you can, at this point, you've seen, you've heard the bowels of hell, you've past all these terrifying figures and stuff like that. Now that you've worked so hard for it, close your eyes and picture what you want. Once you feel like you have a good picture of what you want, you can open your eyes. Ahead of you is the beginning of the road that you just went down. And then it says to check your back seat or trunk. Your desire should be there. If it isn't something that's physical, turn the car away from the road and go home, and you will soon see your desire pop up in your life. You did it. Congratulations. The ritual is done. So, basically, like to, kind of like talk about that a little bit, is that like you go through hell. Like, I feel like that's a really cool symbolism, is that you like go through hell to get what you want. And that could even be like a symbolism for life too. Like, you work your hardest, you do your best, you struggle, you save, you do whatever to get the life you desire, to get the things you desire, Except this is just like describing a road. What really gets me is after all of that, you're back in front of this same road, as if you're about to head back down the road. If you're done, you should be able to turn around and leave the area and go home. But the last paragraph in the post says something that I just can't personally imagine. You could do this again, and get a different desire. How many times could you do this? Nobody knows. Would everything happen again the same way? Nobody knows. Or would things get more and more intense? Nobody knows. I don't know if anybody's really like done it twice. I mean, obviously, like the YouTubers and stuff like that have done it twice. But if you actually go through something like I described, would you do it a second time? I don't even think I'd do it the first time. Like, I would be super terrified. Like, honestly, I think the point that would get me is pretty much when they're chasing, when the figures are chasing the car. Because I feel like I could maybe ignore them, from like talking to me and stuff. But I think the thing that would get me is probably like the flickering lights and like not being able to see, and then them chasing me. Like, I feel like that would just be too much for me, too intense. So I don't think I could do this the first time. So, like I said, the first time that I actually heard about this ritual was from Sam Goldbash's channel. I watched his videos on him doing this ritual. He did one where he actually like followed all the rules and stuff, and then he did another video where he did broke all the rules. Um, it is an interesting video, although, like I said, nothing like this stuff remotely happens. It's still entertaining to watch. Like, I'm not downplaying anything that he did, because like I said, like it was really intense to watch. Like, I really did enjoy it. It's just obviously like nobody saw like the gates of hell or anything like that. Um, so when I watched him the first time do this ritual, I was like, oh yeah, I could probably do this. I mean, like, driving down the road isn't that too bad. The way he described it is like you're just gonna start like seeing stuff that's not there, and like, stuff's gonna start happening to your car, but it's okay. You can do this. And I'm like, yeah, I probably could do that. The only thing that I was worried about was my car malfunctioning and stuff, because I can't afford another one. So like that was like my one thing, is like I don't want my car to break down and like then I can't fix it. So, but now that I'm actually like seeing the original creepypasta and reading about like the full story and stuff, um I don't think I could do it. I know the creepypastas are just short stories, just urban legend, they're just horror writers. But I like to kind of think of like, what if this was real? Like, what if you actually did try this and you did start getting all of these steps and stuff like that? You know, it's something to think about, you know. Uh but yeah, so is there any really desire is there any desire that you want so badly that like you would go through hell and back to get it? I mean, honestly, I could name a few. If I thought I could do it, I would probably go through the ritual a few times, because you, because like think about it. You could wish for a house, and then, or you could wish for a paid off house, and then like in like a couple days or a couple months or something, bam, a paid off house like lands in your lap. You could ask for like money, and like you don't even have to be like, I want like $1 million right here right now. Honestly, I would probably wish for just like money when I need it. Like I'll still work. Like, I'm fine with working and stuff like that. It's just like, if my car breaks down, can I have $1,000 to fix it, type of thing. That's what I would wish for. Like, just like a safety net type of stuff, if that makes sense. So as I said at the beginning of this, it's kind of a good idea to go through this ritual with a car. Um, it sounds a lot better than going through it with a motorcycle or an ATV. Especially when the figures start to like surround you and stuff. They would be so close. And like the part where they're like wanting to take you out of the car or whatever. They're trying to pull you off your bike. It's intense. Yeah. Honestly, this ritual, like thinking about like the possibility of it, kind of makes my chest hurt. While writing this, I kept thinking about like how I would do things or how things would go for me, like pretty much like what I would wish for. And I just got like a really like sick sense of dread like wash over me. To me, it's a really super intense ritual. So like it's not like you get your wish but then you die in 7 days like that one phone number that we talked about. The whole point of this ritual is just to prove your worth for your wish. And then once you get your wish, it's done. It's like a clean slate. You're done and over with. So, but let me know what you think about this ritual down in the comments section below. Like, would you try it? What would your desire be? I feel like mine, like I said, would be a house. Because it seems like such an unattainable thing for me. Um, I'd probably ask for a fully paid off house with no bills, just like I can live there. And then, you know, I might go again and get money. I wouldn't go crazy because like then I feel like it is like a selfish thing, if that makes sense. Like I feel like the more like if it's something that you need, I feel like it would just be like a standard ritual, maybe. But then if you're kind of doing something out of like greed, like just asking for all the money in the world type of thing, maybe it would be more intense. Like that would be fucked. Um but yeah. So make sure you actually go and read the original post because it's much more spookier than like what I described. But I definitely wanted to do this as an episode and yeah, creeps me out, that's for sure. So, thanks for listening, guys. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. This podcast is also available on YouTube. It's also available on Spotify. So, whichever one you're listening to, go check out the other ones. It's also available, I think, on like Amazon Music. Check wherever you get podcasts to see, if it's on there. Because honestly, I don't know. It's everywhere. But thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.